Welcome to Wayne's World. I'm Wayne Dawson. My next guest sat next to me every morning for 8 years. Tracy McCool started working at Fox 8 almost 31 years ago as an associate producer, working her way up to reporter and later anchor. These days she's working in the evenings, but she's still a very big part of my family. I love her, even though we don't see each other every day. Tracy McCool. We don't see each other.
I just feel so blessed to be sitting next to you again.
Well, the feelings likewise.
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
I can't believe it.
You are my, we were sister and brother on the morning show.
Yes, we were.
For a long time.
Yes, we were.
And then you left me for Lou. And I still haven't forgiven you for that.
I know. I remember the day I took you into a side room and I was like, Wayne, I have something to tell you. And you're like, you're just staring at me. You're like, you're leaving me? I'm like, yes, I have to.
Yeah, you said I have to.
But I miss you so much.
It was good for your, for the family.
Yeah.
And
you
all
are
that.
my favorite person.
Mine too.
That I rarely get to see
I know.
anymore. So.
I feel the same way.
And
I really do.
I just want to say that I am so happy for you.
Thank
Prayers
you.
answered
Oh,
with
my
all of your
gosh.
positive scans, and it was so exciting to hear that. I mean, you might be back in October.
That is the plan. I'm waiting now on my on the date for my surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a plastic surgery on my jawline and my teeth. They have to put my teeth back. So, so I can be television presentable. So I can't wait to take off this mask. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to scare people. That's why I wear it. But I don't wear it at home. But when I'm out, I wear it because, I don't want to, people, ooh, what's wrong with you? Anyway. But
I got to tell you, though, you look amazing.
I
really
picked up
do.
weight. I'm telling you. And you know about the journey. My gosh.
Sure.
My gosh.
Sure.
Can I tell you, John is a legend. They still talk about him today at the Tussock Cancer Center at the Cleveland Clinic, man. What kind of fighter, man, was John?
He was a fighter, and it got to the point where in the beginning it was rough. It was really rough. And I remember the day when he was diagnosed, it was just a big blow. Stage 4 colon cancer. It had jumped out of his colon, went up his spine, into his stomach, and it was, his prognosis was really, really bad. And I remember the day that we walked out. Now that I look back at it, I feel like I lost 85% of him because you're never the same.
Once you are diagnosed.
You are never the same. And I remember it was on a Thursday. I couldn't even, you just cry yourself to sleep every night. He did as well. And then finally that Monday I woke up and I was just, you're just still in shock.
Yeah.
And I woke up, I opened my eyes, and I said to myself, Tracy, it's time for you to put your big girl pants on, and you've got to find a way, to help him get through this.
4th stage colon cancer.
Colon cancer.
And he had no...
Mets to the bones. And yes, there were many, many red flags.
Really? And he just ignored them? Or
He had a family history. You know what he did at the gym, mixed martial arts,
yes, yeah.
BJJ and fitness, and he trained athletes. And so at the time, he had hemorrhoids, bleeding.
Okay.
But at the time he was powerlifting. So he brushed that off, and that was several years before he was actually diagnosed. And then it wasn't until we took the kids to Cedar Point, and he went up to take them down a water slide, but I knew that he had been complaining about his back, his lower back. And I said, hey, I'll take the kids. He goes, no, I've got it. So as soon as he went down, it basically ripped, the edge of the slide just ripped the tumors on his, so it broke his vertebrae.
Okay.
So the pain was it was undeniable. He had to go. So he went to his family doctor, and they're like, John, you have got to get into an X-ray machine, CT scan. This could be cancer. So he managed to do that, and he was claustrophobic. So it was very hard for him to get into an MRI, to that PET scan. It was it was so awful for him, but he had to. But by the time he was getting a CT scan, the pain was so horrible on his back, he could hardly even, lie down on the bed. But it was just one blow after the other, and then looking back at it, yeah, so doctors, they believed that he had it for quite some time.
For quite some time, huh?
Yeah, and when he was diagnosed, he had asked, well, how long do I have? I think that was probably our biggest regret.
What did he?
Asking about time.
Yeah. What did they tell him?
They said 2 years with treatment. 2 years with treatment, and then he had asked. He goes, well, what about without treatment? And they said 9 months. The problem is nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
So they basically said this is going to take you out, basically, and you had to live with that. He had to live with that.
Yeah, terminal cancer, inoperable, chemo for the rest of your life.
Chemo for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
And you said 85%. He just changed. I mean, he seemed, on the outside looking in, he seemed to be the same John. Curious John.
He did.
Life of the party.
And when you saw him, that was a good day.
Yes.
He was having a good day. But going back to the clinic, and he really did make a name for himself.
He did. I mean, they still talk about him.
Dr. Shapiro is just so wonderful. All of his nurses, he had all, Iris at the front desk. He would always go right up to her. He just loved Iris. And
Can I just say one thing? You're on television. When you guys were together, he was a bigger draw than you. It's because of his personality.
I remember, like, the first couple of times we were there, I was like, John, you've got to shorten your stories a little bit. He would go and he would talk to Dr. Shapiro and Dr. Neal, his palliative care doctor, and the nurses, and story after story. But he would talk about everything and anything and everything other than cancer.
Okay.
He would never talk about his cancer.
Yeah.
Never talk about his treatment. It was always something fun.
They gave him 2 years. He lasted how long?
Almost 5.
5 years.
Almost 5 years.
That's the fight in him.
That's the fight in him, and I think a lot of it, almost all of it, is, I truly believe, the power of prayer.
Yes.
So many people were praying for us. So many people were, cheering us on, and that is what powered him to get through. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know how just brutal it is.
It is.
And it beats you down. But you just got to have faith. You've always got to have hope, and that will help you find strength.
Now you made the move from university to the clinic.
Uh-huh.
Was that?
Oh no, we started at the clinic.
Okay, then you went to university.
And then we went to James Cancer Center at Ohio State.
Okay.
For the clinical trial.
Okay.
Then we went back to the clinic.
Okay.
For probably that clinical trial bought him another year.
Okay. You were never at university?
That was the end. We were
end.
trying to get into a clinical trial, and it was just one thing after another.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So the hope was that find something that's going to extend his life. That was the whole goal. My God.
And at the time there was so much promise in research, and all these new treatments and immunotherapy, and but there was never really a match. We were trying to get into a clinical trial at the Cleveland Clinic, and I mean it's hard.
Talk about your role as a caregiver. I mean, what was that like?
It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But you just do it. That is unconditional love.
Yes, it is.
In sickness and in health. And I promised him, when he was diagnosed, I said, John, I will do whatever you need me to do. I will do all the legwork. I will get you to where you need to be. I said, but I want you to always know that this is your life. And when you say when, it's when.
Yeah.
I said, I will do everything I possibly can. I mean, I spent hours and hours at the computer looking for clinical trials and anything, because you always have to have like three things in your back pocket.
Okay.
Because when A stops working, you got to get to B, and you have a very small window of time, because his cancer was very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive. And I remember the first time that he got a break from chemo, So in the beginning, I mean, they were just blasting him with everything that he had.
Chemo is rough.
Oh, it's so rough.
It's rough.
It
beats you
is
down.
rough. And like for the first 18 months, he just sat on the couch. I mean, the depression is real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lack of energy.
The fatigue is real. I mean, think about it. You know, even you, how active you are, you go from 150 to 0. Like that.
That is so true.
Like that.
That is so true.
And, you know, just the side effects and everything.
And they told him he would have to be on it for the rest of his life.
The rest of his life.
Not the pill chemo, where they actually.
Yeah, he had a port and everything.
He had the port, yeah.
And right after all of the treatments stopped working at the clinic, they put him on like a maintenance pill, where it was a pill. Yeah, but he found humor. He was in the fight of his life.
Yes.
Every day was a struggle for him, but he managed to find humor in just about everything. And after we went to James, and he was on like another maintenance pill, you know, and I had to wear gloves, you know, to give it to him, and you know, put it. So I go to give it to him and everything, and he puts on gloves. And I go, John, you don't need to wear gloves, buddy. It's just.
Let me ask you, because how did you get through it though? I mean, how did you stay strong? Or were there times when you just felt sorry for yourself and for him?
I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for the kids. I never thought about it. I just put my blindfold on, and I just stayed so focused on him.
On him.
And the kids.
Now, what about the kids? I mean, how did it affect them at that? How did they get through it?
I think they stayed busy. They continued on, you know, and I was just like, you guys, look, you go do what you do. I mean, I didn't want any of that to rob what John was going through, to rob the kids of, you know, the high school years, middle school year. I mean, they were younger when he was first diagnosed. But they saw.
Did they know he was dying? Did they know that?
I think in the end, I think they did. Things didn't happen the way that I thought they would, just because the clinical trial was it was a mess. And he went downhill really fast, and I remember at the time, it was in March of 2023, March, and he passed in May. March, Cassidy was getting ready to go to Paris for her class trip, and I prayed every night. I'm like, please, please, let him get through. Yeah. Please, please, please. Let her be able to go on that trip, and you know, and she would call John, and we'd be on the way to the clinic or UH, and but he made it.
He did. Okay.
He made it. She got back from Paris.
Do you think that was something he just was determined to do?
I think so. I think so. But in the end, it was the medicine just stopped working, and he was in and out of ER, and then finally. We met with the clinic, and I was hoping to get him back to the clinic and get him okay for another round of chemo. And then I remember sitting on the couch, and we did a Zoom with Dr. Shapiro, and we talked. And then all of a sudden he said, "What about hospice?" And I was like,
he said that.
Hospice. And I was just, he was done.
At that point, he was just tired.
He was tired. You know, he didn't lose the fight.
Yeah.
He wanted to go out on his own terms.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I'm going to keep you at home I promise you I will keep you at home as long as I can.
Which is something. I mean, to do that. God bless you for that.
So, you know, we got a hospital bed. He's in the family room. So the kids see that, and he's just going downhill fast. And this was like on a Tuesday, and then by Friday he couldn't walk anymore, and he quit taking, you know, food, and I couldn't medicate him because he had, you know, broken bones and a lot of pain and everything.
Gosh, yeah.
So
he suffered and really, really suffered, especially at the end.
He did. He did, and but I got him. Hospice was supposed to come on Sunday, but he went down on a Friday. So I was just like, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, this is not. It's not. So I'm like, I had to tell the kids. I had to tell the kids. So Cassidy, she came home from the football game, and I took him upstairs, and I told him, I said, I want to let you know, I want you to go downstairs, and I said, I want you to speak with your dad. He can still see you and speak, and I wanted him to be able to lay eyes on him. Yeah. And I said, your dad is going into hospice. And, the kids are like, well, what's hospice, Mom? And I was just like, well, it's end of life. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, how can I tell the kids, and how could they relate to this? And I said, look, and they started crying, and I said, look, the devil brought down the biggest, baddest monster to try to take your dad out. And I said, I want to let you know that he did not lose this fight. He did not lose this fight. He went out on his own terms. And over the course of 5 years, he showed you how to fight.
He did. He showed everybody how to fight.
And how to live in some of your worst struggles in life.
Can I just say, you're one of the strongest women I know. You are.
Thank you.
Your strength through this whole situation, everything you went through was absolutely incredible.
I appreciate that.
It's the truth.
And I feel the same way about you.
What I'm going through pales in comparison, but cancer's cancer, no doubt about it. It's still it's a horrible situation. It really
is a horrible
is.
situation.
But you are the epitome of first of all, a loving wife, because you guys knew each other.
Since high school.
Your love story goes back to what, high school or something?
High school, yeah. And in high school, John used to say, I don't know why you're dating all these other guys, because you're going to be my wife someday. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But, we went our separate ways, and then we met back up. And
well, it was always John in the back of your mind.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he always loved coming on.
He did.
He loved coming on TV.
He stole the show.
Hey, do you remember when we did Spouse in the House?
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I remember Margaret Dakin, who's our planning,
Yes.
who's our planning producer. We're all sitting in the pod, all of us, Stephanie, you, me. And Margaret goes, hey, I've got a really good idea. She goes, why don't we have our spouses come on and take our place? And I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't think that would be a very good idea, And Steph was like, what a wonderful idea. And Wayne goes, not a bad idea. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He gets on there. And I remember the day I was sweating. John.
I know.
You know John.
You just didn't know what he was going to say.
You have no idea what he's going to say. And, even driving to the clinic, I'm like, okay, you know what the rules are? I know. Short stories, Tracy, short stories, because we have to get out of there so you can go to work. But anyway, and when he came on, I was just, and he interviewed Katie Spots, that athlete who rode across. And, I went into the green room.
He was a natural, to be honest with you.
Oh my gosh,
Seriously.
I was blown away. And and he did some MMA with Scott, and so I went in the green room and I said, John, here's some notes on Katie Spots. You know her? He goes, I got it. But he was just he was a natural.
He was a natural, and like I said, the love story is incredible.
Yeah,
you guys were made for each other. You talked about the faith aspect. Was there at any point a time when you doubted your faith?
No. Never. Never, ever, ever.
Did it make you stronger, you think?
Yes.
Did you? Really?
Yes. It brought me closer.
Really? Okay.
And that's what kept me going. Because I knew at the end of the day, everything's gonna work out, one way or the other. And John knew that too.
Okay.
John was yes. And I remember the day after when we got off the Zoom with Dr. Shapiro. He looked at me and he said, are you upset that I chose to go into hospice? And I said, no, John. I said, I'm not at all. And, you know, later that day, I'm still roaming around. He goes, aren't you going to work? And I said, no, I'm not going to work. And I said, I called off. And he goes, well, you better uncall off.
That's what he said, huh?
Oh, yeah, he would get upset because he never wanted his situation to keep me from work. Anyway, so then he said, well, he goes, are you upset? I said, John, I'm not upset. I said, I told you from the very beginning that, you know, this is your life. It's your decision of what you want to do. And I said, I just can't imagine life without you. And you know what he said to me?
What did he say?
He said, he goes, Tracy, he goes, you will be amazed at the power of the good Lord.
Whoa.
I will always be with you.
Ooh, did you feel that?
I mean, it makes me cry.
Seriously, that's good stuff, though.
But he knew all along. He was all right. He was all right.
He was good.
He was good because he knew where he was going.
Woo, that's good. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That is so powerful. When you went on the air to address Northeast Ohio about the situation and all of that, how difficult was that for you?
It was hard. You know, we could have done it privately and not, but I think, you know, we talked about it, and that weekend after he was diagnosed, I'm just like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this? And John found it took him a while. It took him about 18 months to figure it out. What was the purpose? What is his purpose? You know, he could no longer do what he did.
Yes, because he was heavy into the MMA.
Yeah.
The gym and everything like that.
He had a fight team.
Yeah.
He trained athletes, and he could no longer do any of that. So he had to find his purpose, and his mission really was, he's like, oh, there's not a lot of hope for me, but I can help a lot of other people by raising awareness about, you know, colonoscopies, the screening. You know, colon cancer is one of the most preventable, treatable diseases.
You just got to get that test.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I'll tell you what, that's what he did. He made that his mission. And I remember the day, I posted it on Facebook, and I wrote this long thing. It was in 2019, I believe. And he read it. And I would always show him, and I talked to him about it. I said, we can do it one way or the other. And he goes, I want to help people. I want to help people. I want to spread the message about early screening and preventing this horrible thing. He goes, you know, I coulda, shoulda, woulda is not going to help me. So, I remember the day, my hand was shaking before I hit send, or submit.
Yeah. Did he ever feel sorry for himself? Did you ever sense that he felt sorry for himself or anything like that? Did he go into that type of depression?
Like why me?
Why me kind of thing? I got to admit that I was there for a minute. You know, why me?
I think maybe deep down inside he did.
But he never expressed it.
No.
Yeah.
Until he found his purpose. Now I will tell you that he sat on the couch for 18 months. And he would have, you know, I think it was just him trying to process the whole thing. And then finally one day he was kind of melting down right before I was leaving work. I'm like, are you okay? And then finally I'm like, tough love right here. And I said to him, I looked right at him and I said, look, John, I said, you could either sit on this couch and think about dying, or you can get out there and go live your life. What's it going to be?
How has this whole experience changed you, or has it?
It's changed me dramatically. There are things in life, I don't take 1 day, 1 minute for granted. Not, you know, I stop and smell the roses. I really do. I take the time to enjoy the things in life. You know, the kids, you know, because think about it. I mean, like everything we did as a family, everything was a struggle.
And can I say
even vacation was a struggle.
Yes.
You know?
Because you guys still did that stuff, even after the diagnosis.
We tried.
Tried to, yeah.
You tried to, but it was never the same. Everything was hard. He was always sick.
Yeah.
And now I will never take any of that for granted.
How are the kids?
They're good.
I should say, how are the young adults?
They are yes.
How old are they now?
Single mom.
Yes, you're a single mother.
Yes. Carter is 17, soon to be 18 in October. He's a senior.
Wow. And he's an athlete?
He's an athlete.
Okay.
He's done travel baseball.
Good, yeah.
He likes his dirt.
Is he interested in MMA?
He dabbled in a little bit.
Okay.
And that was really hard because those kids grew up in a gym.
Yeah.
Those kids knew, BJJ and see them in their little white gis and everything, and that was really hard. That was really hard for the kids. I mean, because I remember John walking into the gym. He had Cassidy was in a stroller, and Carter was in the little carrier. He got the big dog Sam and everything. So I mean, that's what that's where they grew up. But Carter, he's now in baseball. Baseball. He's into dirt bikes.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to go into the trades. And Cassidy, she just started her sophomore year at Akron U.
Good for her.
And she wants to go into law school.
Oh, she wants to be a lawyer. Oh,
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff. My goodness gracious. Last question there. They're kicking me off the air. What's next for Tracy McCool?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet.
Here's the next question. Who do you love more, me or Lou Maglio? Don't answer that question. I want to get you in trouble.
You know I love you, Wayne. You know I love you. We had some of the best days.
Oh, we did. We really did.
The best days on that morning show.
This girl influenced me so much. First of all, she influenced me to buy a car. And then she sent me to Traverse City, Michigan.
That's right.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
the cherry coffee.
That's right,
Oh,
the
yeah.
cherry coffee
Yes.
and the cherry wine.
I miss our
you.
days together.
I
I
love
love
you.
you too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Thank you
my
for
hero.
having me.
You're incredible.
You are my hero.
You're incredible.
And I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you as well. Thank you so much for joining us for Wayne's World. Remember, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, with God's help, it can achieve. Tracy, thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.